it's happening in New York, New Jersey, or Long Island. Hear about it with Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.
Do we have a guest coming up, Frankie?
We do. Mike Gallagher. He's standing by.
Well, can we... Now, watch this. I'm going to really throw Al off.
No, don't throw me off.
Yeah, it's 8:42. Can we go to Mr. Producer? Can we go to Mr. Gallagher now? He's the guy. Mike's the guy. And Al, I'm sorry. And I promise you I'll make up
Jeffrey
for this.
Lyons was standing by. Hi, Mike.
Yeah, let's. I was going to ask Jeffrey to be my co-host next week. You think he'll fill in for me? Boy, we touched a nerve last week with you guys.
You know
a lot
what?
of Piscopo fans. I got tons of email. And Joe, I feel bad. I was worried I wouldn't get invited back.
And thank you, Al, for doing that. And we're gonna tell you about Perillo Tours. By the way, we go to Italy. Mike Gallagher, you're going with us, pal.
Oh, are you kidding me? I wouldn't miss that for the world. What a trip!
But you're such a decent human being, Mike. You really are, and you really are. I just know. And anyway, it's been a joy just being your colleague for going into our fifth year. And
coming from you, that's huge.
Well,
Thanks,
I know, and I watch you and I listen to you. You think I'm kidding? After the show, I listen how you approach your show, how you open your show, and how you talk to and respect your audience. So, and if you're listening and you didn't hear on Friday, we're doing a live broadcast from the Hilton for the Greater Chamber of New York City. And Jeffrey jumps out, and I know Jeffrey Lyons, and he's as liberal as they get.
And help me understand this a little bit. Give me a history, because I don't think I've listened to Jeffrey over the years. I know his movie reviews, but he goes pretty political like that on a regular basis.
We could not be more diametrically opposed. He's left of Cory Booker. Okay,
is he really?
Yeah, but you know what? It is what it is, and it's okay. And let's talk. So he touches on Puerto Rico. I know the situation in Puerto Rico. It's a local problem. It's a local governmental problem. Geraldo Rivera nailed that a year when it happened a year ago. Geraldo mentioned it, and he was talking to the president about it.
You know, when there's no infrastructure to begin with, just to be like a fairy godmother and pull out your wand and say, here's an infrastructure. But I'm sitting here and I'm minding my own business. I'm listening to you guys chat last Friday, and all of a sudden Jeffrey Lyons just plainly states, well, you know, of course, the reason we haven't helped these people is because they're brown and they don't vote. I thought, what?
And I heard it. I go, Jeffrey, it's an infrastructure problem. It's a local government problem.
It's a corruption problem.
It is.
As Tom Von Essen has told me, who's he heads up FEMA for New Jersey, New York, and Puerto Rico. There's a lot of problems
and
there. It ain't because the people there are of color and don't vote.
By the
Jeffrey.
way, before I forget too, I didn't want to get into it. But by the way,
when I fired up all over again.
When I campaigned for the president early on with Mayor Giuliani, you know, the folks in Florida that appreciate were the Latino voters, particularly the Puerto Rican community in Florida, supported President Trump. And it wasn't Rudy, it wasn't me, it was Donald J. Trump, who they really adored.
But I didn't want unemployment in the history of America for the Hispanic
So I didn't want to get into it, Mike. So then you jumped on. Me and Frank and Al.
I was so mad. I was mad all day. I was mad Friday night. And then I got a bunch of emails and calls on air. So, I mean, you know, listen, you could open up your phone lines right now, have some fun with this, because your fans were writing me saying, finally, I mean, and then they felt they were very respectful for you, because that's not, you know, you don't butt heads a lot, and you're respectful.
Only if they really push me, I do. But no, you're right.
He's the movie guy, and he's good at what he does. But man, it's like the girl, the lady that wrote the book, Shut Up and Sing. You know, shut up and do your movie reviews.
My cousin Paulie texts me, yeah, Mike. That's what I got.
Well, I mean, your cousin Paulie is on my side, but I mean, really, these guys that do this, movie reviewers, and you gotta first of all think about the view you have to have, the worldview you have about our own country, that our government is racist and doesn't care about brown people or their votes don't matter, so we're just not going to help them. I've talked to Tom Von Essen numerous times about the enormous challenges we face in Puerto Rico. There's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of incompetence. We're doing so much to try to help these poor people, and to hate. I'm sorry, Joe. I got to say it since you got me fired up.
You're right.
To hate our own country so much and say that our government is corrupt, because we would have to be corrupt. corrupt.
Mike,
think about the vile racism that our leaders would have to hold in order not to want to help Puerto Ricans. Give me a break.
I know.
Give me a break. How about give me the Meet the Fockers .5 review? All right.
I'm sorry. What did you say? Oh, I thought you said something else. I have to tell you that because I know Donald J. Trump in New York all those years, and I know the people, and I've been down to Doral, and they love him dearly. But I didn't want to get into it. But you're not wrong, and I just don't like. And there's almost sometimes they're so liberal that they're just uninformed. They don't, and they just go with.
Well, that's it. I had dinner last night with the great Joe Battaglia. We all know Joe, and he's got a great new book out about getting rid of, how to handle the atmosphere of social media. And he said that there's a lot of people who say things out of ignorance. It's out of ignorance, but they say it so authoritatively. I mean, that's what made me crazy. I'm sitting here in my studio, and there's Jeffrey. Well, we're just not helping those people because they're.
But it was like a half hour earlier, and you go, Joe, I'm sorry. Is this inappropriate? I apologize. Yeah. Can I do this? Boom! And you dropped it. But Mike, I love you, man. I love you, brother.
Decent. I love you too, and your decency, and you're such a good guy, and you're not a screamer, and he's your guest, and I didn't want to cross any line.
You were great. You were very respectful.
I really do respect
that.
But I respect the fact that you let him say what he said, and so be it. Everybody knows you don't agree, and listen, it did touch a nerve because we got a bunch of emails.
Yeah.
We got a lot of phone calls on the air later in the day, and I'll bet you could have some fun with it if you open up your. I'll put you. And like even Joe Battaglia and I were talking about it last night. When a guy like Jeffrey Lyons says stuff like that, once in a while, and I get it, it's an unusual environment because you're talking movie reviews, you're talking entertainment.
Right.
But it would be kind of fun to say, where do you base that on? What do you base that on? What evidence do you have that our government is racist enough that we're not helping the people of Puerto Rico? It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Does it?
Nope.
They go with that mantra, and it's like my liberal friends. I say I love you, man, but they don't know, and sometimes you don't even.
And they don't care.
They
don't care.
Kind of like
look
arguing
at Ted
with
Cruz
your
last night. Ted Cruz hounded out of a restaurant in D.C.
Oh
he and his wife,
gosh! Did you see that?
Yep, liberal activists screaming at him, chasing him.
Embarrassing.
And listen, but hey, that's today's Democratic Party, Joe.
That's right.
I mean,
man.
you got Maxine Waters getting their face, Obama getting their face.
45. I'm so angry.
Yeah.
Angriest woman on the planet.
Oh, he wakes up angry and goes to bed angry. And there's a lot of anger. You talk about decency, Joe.
Yeah.
There's just such a lack of it. Watching Brett and Brett Kavanaugh and his wife.
Oh, Lord.
To see what they are going through and to recognize. I mean, Sarah Sanders said it great. The best this morning. Can we have the hearing already and let the accuser testify and let Judge Kavanaugh testify and then vote and move on with this? I mean, all the speculation and the this and Michael Avenatti now he's in it.
Please. This is
it's not a circus till he shows up.
I know. Oh my gosh, Mike, we love you, man, and you're
you
so
too.
welcome
Have a great
anytime.
Day. Thank you for letting me vent a little bit.
My brother, I'm proud to always be with you, Mike Gallagher.
All right,
Thank
have
you,
a great guy. Stay dry, guys.
Okay, thanks. 10 minutes before 9 o'clock. Mike comes on 10:05. He is a great patriot and very smart, but compassionate conservative. He's not just attacking.
Everybody knows this guy. Now, everybody knows he can do a radio show. Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.